Never better here.
What's the adjustment been like to Josh and the offense? How's that coming for you, other than the world fell into a panic when you supposedly threw 4 interceptions on that first?
Sure. I think it's feeling good. I think kind of catching a stride. Just trying to get as many reps out there as possible. I think you got to take the meetings and what you learn from when you do get a chance to run the plays. Just take it and take it the next time you run it. I think it's all the same concepts in the league, but it's different wordage, different verbiage. Same guys, mostly same guys run them, but just kind of feeling out kind of how they run it and timing and just kind of get a different concept. So I think it's been good. I think I'm starting to kind of really kind of find a stride. I'm kind of bummed out we're about to leave, but no, it's fun. Anytime we're going against a great defense, they got good players, 2 great corners. I tell Gonzo every day I'm gonna test them. I'm not gonna not throw at them or CD. Two of the I think the best corners and one of the best duos in the league. What an opportunity for us to go out there every day and throw against those guys.
Drake, how much have you and Mike and Josh talked about the expectations for you as a leader on this team going into your second year?
I think it's an opportunity for me. Take a jump. I think kind of from last year being a rookie, trying to come in here and kind of earn my stripe, earn my keep, just kind of through hard work. And I think kind of this year is. Same approach. You got new guys in here, new staff. Kind of got to keep getting to know everybody. Kind of show my work ethic, and then kind of from there, as the season comes around, try to take a next step of leadership and leading the offense, and hopefully leading this football team.
As a voice and as a player, how would you define your comfort level now compared to 1 year ago?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This world's different. I was talking to Pep about that earlier. Remember this time last year, Pep and Doug. I was playing quarterback back there, and we had a 1 high, 2 high read, and they were playing with me basically the whole snap, and I messed it up. But just confidence and being out there, having reps, seeing some of these plays, seeing how these guys on defense play, and I think it's it's world's different. It's a little different to have new offense, new verbiage, but I think kind of just finding where we're at in the offense and finding what we're going to be good at and our identities. It's been fun. It's been cool.
We've seen Stefon Diggs out there with you guys a little bit more in the past few weeks. Just what are your first impressions of him and just getting to play with him?
Yeah, he seems like awesome teammate. He's my next door to my locker mate, so he's one down from beside me. We talk all the time. He's a veteran in this league. He's made a lot of plays, played in a lot of big time games. So just an awesome voice for the receiver room for this offense. He's played in some playoff games. He's had some big games, and I think once he kind of recovers and he's getting back out there, I'm looking forward to be able to throw him footballs, and just it's always good having a guy like that in your team.
Have you seen Stefon's work ethic in action?
Yeah, he comes in here, lifting, in the meetings, asking questions, asking me after plays, hey, what should I have done there? Hey, in times past, I've done this when the guy's playing this leverage, stuff like that. So, he's seen a lot of different things, played a long time in this league. So it's been great for me to be able to, a veteran receiver, him and Mac, and, Kendrick Bourne. You got 3 really, not really old heads, but kind of old heads in there, in their 30s. So it's been awesome for us to kind of, find how they lead the room and help this offense.
The expectations that are coming is a lot of improvement on the coaching staff, on the roster. It's your second year. You had such a good, at times, rookie year. Yeah. The expectations are already growing. How do you react to those and feel about high expectations?
Yeah, I think you want high expectations. I think that's what you want. I think this city. The Patriots are used to winning, and that's what we're trying to get back to. I think you want people to expect you to play good, and I think that pressure is kind of what fuels you to be out here. What fuels you to get the rep right in practice. What fuels you to work hard in the meetings or work hard in the weight room, or kind of not what happened last year happen again. So
what accompanies that in Boston sometimes is an impatience.
Yeah.
Like why is he's supposed to be this much better? Do you anticipate that? Do you realize that?
And it's hard to anticipate anything. I'm just trying to focus out here on practice, and hopefully when the game time comes, I'm gonna try to play my best football, and I think from there just try to help this team win.
Drake, are there more? On that last drill, when everyone's lined up and you guys are doing the sprints, how does that challenge you vocally and I guess physically too?
Yeah, not really a challenge. Just try not to screw the guys over with the cadence and have them jump off sides. So just trying to help the guys out, give them a little heads up in the front. But it's good for us to hear cadence. Cadence is a big thing in this league to see what defense is doing, help the guys up front blocking. Every D line in this league is good. So it's a great way for those guys listening to the cadence and also conditioning when they're tired. Listening to the cadence.
Why does this Josh McDaniels system have more post-snap adjustments than you've used in the past, and how do you feel like you guys are gelling with those so far?
Post-snap? Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think every offense kind of has different pre-snap, different post-snap. I think what kind of coach does a great job of getting guys in matchups and letting them win. So looking forward to doing that, and got to do my part and getting guys lined up and playing the right side and just doing my part of taking what's open and taking the first thing, because sometimes when I tend to wait for the big one, and that's not you're holding the ball and sometimes it's not open. So
why is it important for you to test Christian Gonzalez and Carlton
Yeah,
Davis?
I think just getting them work, because I know there's going to be guys and quarterbacks in this league with big time receivers that are going to go at Gonzo, go at CD, and I think there's going to be receiver rooms. Like if we were playing our defense, get those guys excited in the receiver room to play such a good quarterback duo who gets a lot of hype, and it's well deserved on speaking for myself for those guys on our side. But playing someone like that, you want to prove them wrong and prove them, hey, this guy's making a bunch of money. Let's go out there and show them what we can do. So that's our mindset if we were playing somebody like our duo, and just giving them work. I think that's what it's great. They don't want to. Gonzo wants work. I try to throw him a back shoulder if he's staying on top, or try to throw him on a slant when he's sitting inside, or throw him on an in cut when he's back in the end zone. I think stuff like that it gives him good work, and I think when the season comes, it's going to help out.
Dan was joking about the 4 interceptions and sort of the how did you view that day? And is that obviously at this time of year, you testing things out, trying things out?
I think there's a balance between trying things out and turning the football over. I think going back to that day, a deep one, Gonzo fell off. We had I'm not getting into football, but Gonzo fell off. Gonzo made a good play. The other one, they bring cover 0 and just got to have cover 0 answers in this league. So I had to learn with that one. I don't remember. I think Hunter got held on one. So take that stuff with a grain of salt. But at the same time, you don't want to turn the football over, so getting in bad habits. So I feel like I've done a good job of trying to keep the football in our hands, and that's one of our key focuses.
Mike has been big on not repeating mistakes.
Yeah.
You feel like something you just talked about there with Mike, that's kind of what you're learning as far as coming out with a new day and not repeating.
Yeah, that's what the NFL is. You're going to get knocked down. It's how hard you get up, and I'm going to throw interceptions and how hard you bounce back. So I learned that in this league really early. You're going to have some bad plays. I think maybe my second or third throw was an interception. So you got to come back, and those guys are looking at me and looking to me to respond. And I think playing this position, it comes with that, and I'm starting to feel that out, and take the bull by the horns and go at it.
Drake, how's the group coming together?
What are your plans for the?
Huddle, things like that. We heard no word down there. How's that going?
Yeah, that's football. You're trying to find out what the defense is doing, and the defense is trying to show you something and play something else. So that's the NFL, and I think you're finding that. And I think it's for me just trying to play the chess match with them. They're going to try to show me something and do something different. Just not getting too much in a guessing game. So it's been fun. It's a good match between our defense. They do a lot of different stuff, and that's great work for us.
Drake, what are your plans for the next 5-6 weeks before you guys come back for a training camp?
Yeah. My plans. Focus on tomorrow. We got another day of practice. Get married in 2 weeks. But other than that, just try to get ready for the season. So.
You have a lot of new faces on your offensive line. How do you see them putting things together over the time as a unit?
Yeah, I think you're kind of starting to see it. I think Morgan and Garrett coming in, they're veterans. Played a lot of snaps in this league, a lot of starts. So good to have some guys who's been in here, and some guys last year, Big Trey and Velo and Cole Strange, and obviously Big Mike. He's stout as can be. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. They're coming as a group. They're doing their part. I got to get the ball out, help those guys. And there's different stuff. It's tough out here. The defense knows we're passing. There's not much running game out here in OTAs, so they kind of got a head start. But it's good for us to get that work. You're going to see their best pass rush on third down, because that's when they're going to come. So, and Big Will, he's done a great job. It's cool for me seeing Will come in kind of same situation. Played 3 years in college, coming in the NFL. Never been up here in the Northeast. Southern accent, so it's been cool to kind of be there with him and live through it.
Explain to them there are trees here.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on a few practices you've had here so far, how much do you feel like you know about your offense's identity heading into the season? What is that identity?
I think you're starting to find it. I think it's hard out here because running the football is such an identity for those guys up front. Kind of being physical and the running game. And also it's hard to see. Nobody's getting tackled, so it's hard to tackle these guys. They're just tapping off and say I tacked them or I tackled them, but that's how it is in OTAs. But I think it's good work. It's good for us to kind of install the plays, get a feel about what I like. Coach McDaniel's been awesome about asking what I like and what he expects from me on certain plays. So it's been good to be able to get that outside and on the field, and it's been fun watching Tom and a bunch of great quarterbacks in this offense do it.
Before practice, Mike was talking about how your leadership qualities, and he said it's a unique situation. He's 22 years old.
Yeah.
You're still a young guy.
How comfortable are you, though, as you guys are all learning this new offense, kind of getting after guys if you feel like you need to when things aren't going the way they should?
I think that's something that I think is needed. I think Coach Vrabel's kind of set that tone when he came in here and got hired of, hey, if you're not doing the right thing repeated times, there's going to be some consequences. And I think that's something we need to establish. And I think it's something that, me growing up with 3 older brothers and around older people my whole life, I've kind of been comfortable. And kind of once I got acclimated, which I feel like I definitely am now, to kind of step into that zone. And, hey, I think especially for offensively, if somebody's not doing their job, and it starts with me, I got to do mine first. But if somebody's not doing their job and repeating mistakes, I think there got to be a consequence. And I think at some point it hurts the football team, and I think it hurts everybody in that building.
Impressions of the skill position players you guys added around the draft? Efton Chisholm, Kyle Williams, Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I think you just saw it. I mean, they're making plays, all day. So we got to find a way to get them involved. Looking forward to seeing kind of how they kind of shape their role in training camp, and I think they're shaping it out here. I think you saw plays from everybody. Travion caught a touchdown. Kyle caught a deep ball. Chiz caught had some about 50 catches, I feel like, in OTAs. So these guys are just showing the work and showing up, and I've been through with the rookie. They're here in some rookie meetings till 5 o'clock, some NFLPA meetings. So they got a lot on their plate, and I think they're responding well. So I think what you realize is young players in this league are good for the program and good for the organization. So I think finding a way to have those guys help us early is something that we can kind of build a young kind of group and a young core. So thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.